Well, hello, everybody. Hello. Listen, I'm Otis, Chicago's Heavy Diva, and welcome to Fahrenheit Live 2020. Listen, tonight we have a great show lined up for you. My co-part, Anthony Galloway, he is around getting beautiful, getting done up. He'll be joining me just quite real soon. You all do me a favor and share this video. We got some great topics tonight. We have some great entertainment for you tonight. And real quick, if my technicians are ready, we're about to jump into some good entertainment, and then we're going to start our hot topic. We got some great guests who will be joining us tonight for our presentations, okay? All right, make sure you share the video. This is Fahrenheit Live 2020, and I'm Otis Mack, Chicago's Heavy Diva. If we can bring on, this is also sponsored by Fahrenheit Live, Lord Russell and Bates. We also sponsored by E3 Radio, okay? If we can bring on our guest tonight, we have a dynamic, multi-talented entertainer who will be performing for us tonight. We want to just share with you, I'm honored to have her on the set. She goes by the name of Chevelle Brooks. Everybody in the entertainment business know Miss Brooks. And while they're bringing Miss Brooks on, let me just remind you, babies, we're here tonight. We'll be back in a couple more weeks. We'll give you the dates moving forward. And don't forget, you can always catch me Monday through Thursday, 106.9 FM, the Pulse, the People Station, and also on Facebook Live on Wednesday night for my blog, Cocktail and Conversations. Okay. All right, here she is, you all. Y'all make some noise for Dr. Chevelle Brooks. Hey, Miss Brooks, how are you?
I'm fine. Can you hear me good?
I can hear you good. I can see you good, and you look simply amazing.
Thank you, child. I was trying to get myself together and go live with y'all to set a live, but I couldn't find the page and nothing like that. But hey, we in this thing, right?
We in this thing, y'all. And real quick, let me tell you, babies, Chevelle Brooks, she's our guest. She's known as Chevelle Boom Boom Brooks. She's from Houston, Texas. She's a multi-talented national title holder. She's a past Miss Continental. She's a past Miss Gay USA. She's a past Miss Universal Latino Plus, just to name a few. She's currently Miss Goddess International and Universal Show Queen.
Yes,
She's also a talk show host. She have her own blog, which airs on YouTube and Facebook Wednesday night at 10:30. Chevelle Brooks, it's called Chevelle Brooks Point of View. Make sure you subscribe. But I'm going to let you all see why she is and has so many titles. She's talented, a dancing sensation. My good girlfriend. Y'all make some noise for Miss Chevelle Boom Boom Brooks, y'all. Y'all make some noise for her. Come on, Chevelle.
Come on. Come on. It's a good being
Chevelle, look, I told y'all. I told you. Thank you so much, Chevelle. Thank you so much for being a part of our program tonight. And to my audience, you'll get a chance to see her do another number just a little later on. Chevelle, real quick, come on, talk to me real quick. Come on, talk to us real quick, baby. How long you been performing, girl?
I've been performing now probably it's been over 25 years now.
That long, yes. Yeah, and what inspires you?
Everything inspires me. TV inspires me. My friends inspire me. Watching people strive inspires me. Watching stuff like this inspires me to do what I'm doing on Our Point of View. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a lot of stuff that inspires me, just not to do drag, but in my life, you know?
I'm with you, baby. I'm with you. Tell us a little bit about your show real quick, your blog.
I have a show every Wednesday night. It's called Our Point of View. It's on YouTube, Chevelle Brooks 75. So please go subscribe. It's at 10 o'clock on Wednesday night. It's a virtual talk show. We talk about politics, social media issues, and tea and all of that, current events, hot topics. We talk about it all. If you post it and you being messy on Facebook, bitch, we're going to talk about your ass on Wednesday night on Our Point of View. So y'all got to, it's a lot of fun. We have special guests. Otis going to be a special guest, so y'all got to come and tune in and watch it.
Yes, ma'am. All right, listen, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And Chevelle will be back towards the end of the show. Boom, boom. Thank you so much, baby. Go catch your breath, have a drink, and we'll see you in a minute.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you, sugar. Love you. Wow. Simply amazing. What do you think about that? Welcome, Anthony Galloway.
Hey, thank you for starting the show off without me.
Not a problem. Anthony was on the stool, so, you know, I understand, you know.
Yeah, of course I was. So thank you, Otis. Thank you, Chevelle. Chevelle, I've known Chevelle almost 20 years now. I met her back in 2002 when her and my fairy godmother, Desiree, competed in Miss Continental Plus together. So that's been 18, 19 years now.
Wow, I've been knowing it that long as well.
Yeah, so very good entertainer, high energy, and all of that. So glad to have her on the program tonight, and thank you for pushing her, heavy diva.
Not a problem. You know, that's what I do. That's what I do. So what's been up with you?
So so my dearly beloved mama passed away right after the show that we had 2 weeks ago. And, you know, it is a very kind of experience that is surreal. I can't think of another word to describe it. She was, you know, and I'm going to be brief about this, but my mama was the first person who gave me loyalty, who gave me lessons on loyalty. I posted about it on Facebook, but she was the first person to accept me as Anthony. Little boy figure in my memory, first memory I've ever had, told me at 5 years old that it was okay to be me. I was this little boy with hair waves at my edges. She would use her spit to style my hair. You know, you think of that as being disgusting, but I love my mama so much that she couldn't do any harm in my eyes. Yeah.
Well, we definitely like to extend our deepest sympathies and heartfelt condolences to our executive producer, Anthony Galloway, in the passing of his mom. And I'm here to tell you, hang on in there. God ain't gonna put no more on you than you can bear. You know, your mother raised you to be a SBW. And I know that to be true.
What's the SBW?
You're a strong Black woman.
She certainly did. And, you know, that speaks to like what we talk about oftentimes in the Black community is that oftentimes, you know, it's a shameful thing to talk about our experiences as men being raised by women, because oftentimes the women are, you know, to be seen as being raised by a woman is seen to be emasculating the male. But you know what? If I need to be that, I will be that, because she was the woman that I saw at the city council meetings, making sure that the folks had clean water to drink. She had 30 years of federal service, working in our government, being the first Black woman to work in the Office of Personnel Management, where she traveled around the country, making sure that things were in place, and making sure that people were treated fairly on the job within the federal sector. And if that wasn't enough, she went to work in the state of Illinois as a manager of the East St. Louis office, making sure that people got their unemployment who could not work. Just an extraordinary woman. And people may not know her in the history books ever. But she was a woman that taught me everything I knew about being civically engaged. So this loss is a huge loss for the Galloway family. She was the patriarch of our family. And she was one woman that made sure that her grandson was loved. No matter what, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be done with it. My grandmother always used to tell me that she loved me. And she loved my little gay ass. And so there was never a point in time where I had to even question anybody loving me. But that woman loved me. And for that, I love her. And so this is a tragic loss for me. But I'm okay because she's taught me everything. I can still smell her. I can still feel her. And I'm just like any other gay boy who lost his mama.
Yeah.
I am extremely. So thank you all for listening to that tonight. But enough of that. So
wipe your face. Give us the ugly cry.
Do I look ugly?
Baby, you know, it's already pushing it, but you was giving us the ugly cry. And I don't want to have to go to commercial.
Well, she deserves that.
Yes,
because, I remember this one, and then we can move on to our interview. But I remember this one occasion where these kids were trying to like beat me up, and my grandma came out there. You better leave my baby alone. And I was her baby. My mother was 15 years old when she had me. She was 14 when she got pregnant with me. And some of the things I've heard is that my grandmother literally snapped when she was about to give the baby to my mama. She literally snatched the baby out of the nurse's hand and took me and named me. So my name is Anthony Charles Galloway. My grandmother's name is Charlene Willis. Born February 10th, 1946 in Portageville, Missouri. And what an extraordinary woman. I will never forget her. She was the first woman that I ever had a crush on. I would be so excited when she would walk through the school doors with her pumps and her heels, and she was always fly. So
awesome.
Love you, mother.
That only woman you ever had a crush on?
The only woman I've ever had a crush on.
That's amazing. I knew that to be true. Well, again, Anthony, you definitely have our heartfelt condolences.
Thank you.
And earth has no sorrow that heaven cannot heal.
That's right. Right.
Let's move on. Go on.
So on tonight's program, we have Lamont J. Robinson, Representative Lamont Robinson. He represents, the 5th District of Illinois. He is the first Black LGBTQ person to be elected to the state legislature. He is my friend. He lives in the Bronzeville community. He is the owner of Lamont Robinson Associates, which has a couple all-state practices in it. And he is just a phenomenal individual and somebody that I am just proud to be friends with and be connected to. I want to welcome to the program Lamont J. Robinson. We also have on the program tonight Channyn Lynne Parker. Channyn Lynne Parker has been an advocate in housing. She has been an advocate in people who are incarcerated in the reentry population. And most recently, she landed a job in one of the high-tech organizations of Howard Brown Health, one of the sponsors of this program. She is more than just a trans activist, but has been a trans activist. But making sure that resources are connected to the community in her new role at Howard Brown. I would like to welcome to the program Channyn Lynne Parker. Welcome to the program, Channyn. Welcome to the program, Representative. How are you all tonight?
Doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. But we're going to jump right on in. I want to remind our listeners tonight, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section and we will get to them. I just want to jump right on in.
Hello, Lamont. Hello, Channyn.
Oh, there he is.
I'm going to back out just for a few minutes, but I'll be right back.
So let's just jump right on in. So there are a lot of issues as we move into a presidential election that's going to happen in about maybe about 5 weeks from now. We're really close to making sure that we're electing people in office. Lamont, I want to push this question to you. I'm sorry, Representative. Is it okay if I call you Lamont?
You certainly can.
Okay. All right. So I want to just jump right on in on this. What are your thoughts about any elections that you see going on outside the presidential election? Are there any other elections that you think that we should be concerned about at this moment?
Anthony, let me first and foremost say thank you for this opportunity. I want to say to you, and what we've talked about, give you again my condolences. You gave us a little bit of background. The reason that you are who you are and you're the fighter for our community is because of Mama Galloway. And so you are who you are. And I know that she is extremely proud of you and smiling down on you. And so you keep the good fight because we need you. Which leads me into your question. There is a member of our community who is running for state rep. He looks like us. He's African American. His name is Ken Bill. He has been recently in the news because one of my colleagues that is Republican has said some disparaging things, not only about the Black LGBTQ community, but the Black community. And so we all should be figuring out a way to support Ken. Understand that Ken is not in the city of Chicago, but just as I'm not in the suburbs, I vote for bills across the entire state, even down to our family, Anthony down in East St. Louis and Pulaski County. And so with that said, we need Ken and we should be supporting Ken, even though, again, he might not be in your neighborhood, he might not be in your area. Ken is somebody that we should support. And look, I need some help. I'm getting my butt kicked in the Illinois General Assembly, and we need somebody like Ken that can help me to push things forward as it relates to our community. And so if we are not supporting anybody else, of course, we're going to support Biden, we're going to support Kamala, but locally, we should be supporting Ken here in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, Speaker Skip, I forgot his last name, right? He'll come to me. In the 1980s, he was the president with Reagan. And he said all politics are local, right? And so if your local politics ain't together, then it doesn't really matter who's in the White House, although Donald Trump has turned that around a little bit. Channyn, let's bring the question over to you a little bit. I know that you're not a political person. I know that you are a stellar community person. And I really, and more so really transitioning out in working with corporate entities and bringing resources to our community. What do you think about, as just an ordinary person, as fabulous as you are? What are your thoughts around us and local politics in general?
That is a great question. And Anthony, you hit the nail on the head about that that old adage, right? That all politics are local. It's our default to think on the macro level. And I get it, right? Because presidential elections, governor elections, mayoral elections are very sexy when it comes to the media, but we forget to think about our responsibility on a more individual level, right? We should be thinking about how can we encourage things like civic engagement in our community? But I'll say this as well to add to that. I think that we also need to encourage civic education, particularly amongst our LGBTQ youth. Again, like you said, right, politics really are local. That's a local thing. And we forget that we have to think about senators, we have to think about state reps, Congress people. I'm gonna tell you a big gap for a lot of people, including myself, are judges.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well send me into the polls blindfolded when it comes to picking a judge, because that is something that I am not familiar with. And I know that it is a huge unfamiliarity gap when it comes to communities as well. But when we think about the effects of over policing, when we think about harsh sentencing and things like that, we have to know who our judges are, because what's happening is we're just kind of setting ourselves up by not voting for the right judge or just voting for any judge.
And just really kind of pressing that check mark of, okay, who was the judge last time? You bring up a really good point, a valiant point here. I'm thinking about Jill Quinn Rose, right? Jill Quinn Rose is running for judge. She'll be the first transgender person, they say, in the state. I think she's going to be this first trans judge in the country, actually. Please correct me if I'm wrong out there, if I'm wrong. But how important is it to have a figure like Jill Quinn Rose, who has been in the public spotlight for many years? She's tried running for public office before, but was not necessarily successful. But this time it looks like she will be. She's a white trans woman. I think that's important to note. Oftentimes there is this gap, right? When we think about marriage equality, when we think about LGBTQ curriculum, and we think about what are the issues hitting communities of color the most. And those are the things that we've spent our time on. What are your thoughts around Jill Quinn Rose? Lamont, let's throw the question at you. I think maybe perhaps you know a little bit about her problem.
And thank you for that. She is definitely someone else that we should be supporting. When I got to the Illinois General Assembly, you had Greg Harris, who is second to the Speaker of the House. He's probably one of the most powerful men, LGBTQ members of our community in the entire state. Then you have Kelly Cassidy. You also, have, and his name is escaping me for a moment, but there are three of us, and then here I come, right? As the
they shook it up.
Thank you, Anthony.
Shook it up. Okay.
But with that said, there's really no one looking at Black gay issues, right? Or looking at issues that are affecting the Black LGBT community, which is why Ken is important, because we need someone to come in with a different lens. Greg has been great. Kelly Cassidy's been great, but they're not Black. And they're not looking out for our best interests as it relates to, for example, the HIV funding. That we know that we have high rates of number in the African-American community, and we're talking about less than $1 million being in a fund to combat HIV rates, which is crazy. It's a travesty, but nobody was looking at that because we had no one looking out, in a sense, for the African-American community. What will Judge Quinn bring? She will look out for our brothers and sisters that are in the trans community. Yes, she's a white woman, but she's also trans. And so she brings the lens as a trans sister to our community, which is much needed, particularly in our criminal justice community. And so again, we have to have folks, and I'm hoping I'm speaking to folks tonight, that we need you to run for office, whether that be a state rep or state senator, alderman, alderwoman. We need folks in our community to run for office, because again, we know what issues are facing our community. No one knows those issues, and unfortunately, no one's looking out for those issues. And so Ken, Judge Quinn are folks that we need to be able to support. And so thank you, Anthony, for bringing that to the forefront tonight.
And Shannon, like you brought up civic engagement as an important piece here. And oftentimes I think there's more than, like for me, when I first got to Chicago, people were like, you should run for public office. I think we all understand why that is not possible at this point. But I want to ask this question, pose this question to you, Channyn. There are roles that are really important outside of running for public office that we can take on, like appointments. So I'm thinking about Mario Trato, who is running the insurance or something of the other, right? I'm thinking about Robert Foytek, who is a directly a advisor to the mayor, right? I'm not like, since Roderick Hawkins left the Emanuel administration, I haven't seen any Black or Latinx people really to like Black folks. I see Ramon Gardenhire in kind of the policy public specter, but I'm not really seeing a lot of trans people of color, women of color, Black men. We could go on representing in our government. What are your thoughts, Channyn, about perhaps an appointment in one of the administrations? I know I kind of got you with that question. You can cuss me out after the program, but what do you think about? I know you're not going to run for public office, but what do you think about possibly being in a role of public service as an appointment? Someone like you.
Oh, me personally?
Yeah,
I don't. I'll say this. I so often encourage members of the LGBTQ community to diversify their aspirations. I believe that the work of social service and the work of community work is a noble effort. It is a noble career, but you are needed in so many other sectors. You are needed in, like you said, legislation, right? You are needed in the schoolroom. You are needed in the surgical office. You're needed in all of these many different aspects, right? So to your question about would I ever run for office or any type of appointment?
No, I know you're not running for public office. My question is, would you accept an appointment?
And why not?
Appointment. You know something? I guess I would if it was the right one. You know, if it was something that I felt that I was going to bring change and something that I was going to be able to do in sincerity, right? I know that all too often trans folks are put into positions to check a box, right? To fill a slot and to say, oh, we have the trans person. But if you're not going to be able to affect change in these appointments or in these seats, then don't do it, you know?
Well, here's my point to that, Channyn. Here's my point to that. I'm looking at the murders of trans women that have been murdered, okay? Laura Rushton Bates looks at that. Mm-hmm. I look at your role as being a board member at Equality Illinois.
Sure.
Keeping Brian and all those folks over there honest, right?
I do my best. Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We see that you're working side by side with David Ernesto Munar, who I have great respect for, who I've worked for twice, right? Mm-hmm. There's no way a Channyn Lynne Parker could be appointed to I just want to say this to you, to an important position and not be able to call on her community when she is not being supported to do so. I think about like Kim Fox's office, and you know, they did some outreach around making sure that we're staying on top. I want to know what happened to the murderer of the guy who was murdered. I mean, I'm sorry, the guy who murdered the young lady that we did the press conference for now 2 Novembers ago. Where are we on the cases of those women who were murdered right there in Bronzeville, right there on the west side? What are we doing? And so if we don't have trans people in place who understand that fear and understand that hope of that community, then what in the hell are we doing? What in the hell are we doing, period? If the life of a trans person can be respected and honored, and people who are directly attached to that issue understanding that and being able to speak up on that. Correct. So that's my only point. Lamont, the piece that I want to bring up to you is that today I saw that the RFP was released for the African American Response Act. I want to say thank you to you because I know you were the person in the legislature to champion that. I know there was a lot of tricks and pony stuff going on with it also. I will not bring that up because I'm really upset about that. But talk to us a little bit. Oh, also I want to say this. There's no innovation in the RFP. It looks like they kind of like copied and pasted from the last RFP. What can we do about allowing more innovation as it pertains to Black people in making sure that these RFPs are not just that the money is released. I don't want to just have the money, but I also want to make sure that we're able to, like Channyn said, affect change. What else do you think you could be doing to make sure that these RFP for, you fought for the money. It was $2 million I saw, right? What else can we do to make sure that this money really does affect change and that it's not just making you happy to check off the box? Like the department is not making sure that they're just checking off the box to make you happy.
Anthony, thank you. Great question. A lot of times as legislators, and I am coming out of my first term, I'm realizing that what we do is what you and Shannon mentioned before, is that we check a box. We put some legislation out there, we put it on the shelf, and then we go to the next thing. But what we have to do is make sure that when we do legislate, particularly and appropriate, which means that we write a check, that we have to follow the money, and we have to make sure that the money goes to organizations that are doing the work. And so what my suggestion would be is that folks that are listening in, you need to determine who your state rep is, who your state senator is. You can go to openstates.com, put your address in, it will populate who those folks are. And we need to hear from you. We need to know what organizations in your community where you want monies to go to. If you know an organization that does HIV work and they need funding, then you need to let your state rep know. You need to let your state senator know, so that way that we can get that money to those organizations. We can't have ears and eyes everywhere, which is why I lean on you, Anthony, and I lean on Shannon to say what organizations are doing great work, so that way that they can be funded. Again, we just can't expect the government to put money out there, and a lot of times it's the same organizations that are getting the money. And so again, it's extremely important that folks that are working in organizations, folks that if you are going someplace and you know this organization is doing great work and you want to support them, we need to hear from you. And whether that be reaching out to me personally and or your state rep or your state senator, that's extremely important. I might have a couple asks tonight. It
Please.
Also is important that members of the LGBTQ community, when things hopefully become safe, that you come down to Springfield. We need to see folks in the Black LGBT community, just like the folks in our white counterparts come down once a year to lobby us on issues that are affecting their communities. And so
when I was at Equality, Illinois, we did have Black people come with Equality. I don't know how that's going to look. We'll let Shannon talk about that a little bit as a board member.
And Anthony, thank you, because I was part of that delegation. But what I'm saying is that hopefully, Anthony, you can help us with this, pull that together. We need a Black LGBTQ day in Springfield. And so I would be happy to help you with that. The folks in the General Assembly need to see our community come out and talk about what issues are affecting our communities. You talked about the deaths of our brothers and sisters that have not been solved. That is a state issue, and it's also a city issue. But we need to put pressure on our governor and our mayor to really look and put resources to those cases, and that's not happening.
So, and I know our interview is running a little bit over, and so this is what I want to say. We have issues around crystal meth usage. They're really huge in our community. That's how people are coping, especially during COVID-19. We have issues around access to medical care right now in our community. And I know people kind of think of this as, oh my God, we got enough information out there. People just need to do it. Well, guess what? When the white guys had these issues going on, We didn't. We did social media, social marketing campaigns, and all type of things that I don't see happening today. The other thing I want to put out there. What are some thoughts around? And we could talk about this in another town hall, but I'm very interested to seeing an Office of LGBTQ Health under the Illinois Department of Public Health, and here's why. We have Center for Minority Health Services. We have Center for Women's Health Services, excuse me. We have all of these things going on, but we really need to focus in on LGBTQ health issues because we oftentimes get lost in the conversation about HIV. We're not talking about women's health. We're not talking about trans health. We're not talking about all of these issues that are so pertinent to making sure that we have a healthy community. And now we're in a global pandemic and folks are separated all over the place. I saw events happening the other night, COVID-19, people are but people are at home. I lost my grandmother, right? She wasn't ready to die, but she's dead because we have a ineffective government happening so now what are we going to do? So I want to hear some thoughts around what are we going to do to address LGBTQ health issues in a way that is powerful and substantial in this state, regardless of who's in the White House.
Anthony, I really appreciate how you mentioned seeing this community beyond the lens of HIV, because for so long, anything that was centered around the health of LGBTQ folks centered HIV/AIDS. And while we know that that is definitely a really pressing issue in our community, there has been the unwillingness to treat us as holistic individuals, right? Tackling other issues, tackling those social determinants of health that actually bar us out or keep us from having access to safe medical care, right? All of those things haven't really been talked about until recently, right? Recently, we're having other organizations take front and center who are doing some amazing work to address those social determinants of health.
Brave Faith Alliance, can we give them a shout out?
Absolutely, right. Brave Space, Howard Brown, and a lot of other places as well are doing.
More Rustin and Bates.
Yes, civic engagement. There you go, right? But again, to talk about that specifically, I think that would be useful. I think that would be useful so long as we don't think about our community as a monolith, right? Because when I think about the needs of trans women, for instance, not every trans woman wants to go to trans care. There are some trans folks who will simply say, I am a woman, right? I am a man. I do not want to go to a place that has, so to speak, in air quotes, trans care on top of the door, right? So we
want to be treated as humans. They want to be treated as the gender that they are a part. And so,
we can't project onto people what we feel they should need. We have to let people tell us what they need and build from there. But in concept, yes, it is a good idea. And I think that specific care should be created.
That's a good point. I'm going to bring my co-host back on, Otis Mack. I think he has a few questions as we wrap up the segment. Hi, Otis. Welcome back.
Oh, hey, you guys remember me? In the damn lobby. I thought I was on the back page or something. No. Okay.
Shade.
Yeah, again, thank you guys for doing all that you do. There was a couple things that I wanted to piggyback on, but because of time, I won't. We have people waiting, still waiting, other people waiting for us to speak with. But yeah, I'd like to run for office myself.
I think you should.
Yeah.
You'll be the first funny legislator.
Sit your ass down.
You cannot tell the speaker that. Well, this speaker, right? Lamont, close out the program tonight and tell us what you think about perhaps the Center on LGBTQ health. And we'll have to have you back on the program in a couple weeks.
Anthony, I would love to be back. Very quickly, I would like to work with you to put a bill together to get that done. I think it's needed. Thank you. God bless you. I also want to say we talked about healthcare. We know that Mercy Hospital is closing. That's in the middle of my district. Mercy has been supportive of the LGBT community. It's where many folks in our community go for services. Please call the governor. Please call the mayor. Let them know you do not want Mercy to close. And then also support the LGBTQ center that's coming to the South Side.
And that's what the program. So when we scheduled the next interview, I want us to specifically to spend time on that. And real quick, I know we have the Congresswoman coming on next, but can you tell us this? What is your relationship with the mayor around LGBT? Because she's the first.
I was the first.
Person of color
I was the first. She was second.
Okay. All right, deal. But you're the first LGBTQ legislator who is of color, and she is the first LGBTQ of color person as mayor of of any of the 3 large cities.
That's right.
Right? How are you all working together to make sure that Black LGBTQ folks are working together?
Sure.
I'll post this when we get her on the program. Hopefully, we will.
I'll give her a call.
Please do. How are you all working together?
Well, the mayor's been a little busy.
Okay.
But with that said, the answer to that question, Anthony, we can always do better. We have a lot of issues in our community. And even though there's a lot going on, the mayor and I have to make sure that we do not forget our people. And I know that I have not done so, which is why I have secured $15 million for the LGBTQ Center, which I hope to come back on the show and talk to you about. But again, we could certainly be doing better. We have trans brothers and sisters that have been murdered in this city. Their cases are still open. So again, we could do better. And I take responsibility for that, Anthony.
So, okay. All right. So it's okay, cool. So how about this? In 2 weeks, I'll come over there to Brownsville and do an in-depth interview with you directly. How does that sound?
I would love that.
Okay. Thank you, Channyn Lynne Parker, community activist, diva, and everything fabulous.
I don't use the term activist, but I'll say advocate.
Okay, I'm sorry. Advocate, diva, and beautiful. My girlfriend, Channyn Lynne Parker, thank you for joining the program, and board member of Equality, Illinois. And State Representative Lamont Robinson, first state LGBTQ of color legislator in the state assembly in Illinois. Thank you so much for joining the program.
Y'all have a good night.
I'm still waiting on what we talked about. So
what was that?
I'm talking about Lamont with the new center that he's opening.
Oh, you know what? You should join me for that interview. We should do that.
Offered me a position.
Okay. So the next person we have on the program is Congresswoman Robin Kelly. Congresswoman Robin Kelly is the deal to me, right? She is a woman of integrity, a woman of virtue, and, seemingly, not seemingly, she is a straight heterosexual Black woman, but she checks on the LGBTQ community, makes sure we are okay, because she understands us as being an important part of her constituency. And not just that, she is just a warm and delightful person to talk to. I've always wanted her to run for higher office. I would love to see her as governor, as senator one day. I won't ask her about any of those questions tonight because I know that could be inappropriate to ask. But let's welcome to the program tonight, Congresswoman Robin Kelly. Is Robin Kelly on? Hi, Representative.
I'm good. How are you guys?
We are amazing. Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I'm honored.
So Congresswoman. I'm so sorry about that.
You used to be the state rep.
Yes, you did. And you used to. Can you just talk to us before we present you your award? Some of the roles you played in our state. I know you worked with Tony Preckwinkle. I know you've done a lot of things.
Well, I started off where I live in the village of Matheson. I was a director of community affairs for 9 years. And then I was approached to run for a state rep. So I ran for state rep. I served for 4 years and gave up my seat when Alexi Janulius asked me to be his chief of staff. So I was the first Black female chief of staff for any constitutional office ever in the state of Illinois. Then, Barack ran for president. Alexi ran to take his place. I ran to take Alexi's place, and both of us lost. That was in 2010. So then I went to work with Cook County and President Brett Winkle for 2 years. And then when Congressman Jackson decided not to run, I decided to take another leap of faith. And so I've been in Congress for 7.5 years. I came in special election.
Congresswoman, can I say this to you? And I'm a gay man, and I just have a really big crush on you. And here's
Love it.
Is that okay, Congresswoman? Can I say that, Congresswoman?
Huh?
Did I say that, Congresswoman? Was I allowed to say that?
I'm honored.
I just have watched you over the years, and you have this sense of you're just a genuine elected official. I really wish that there was an opportunity for you to, serve at a higher office, because I think more people need to see your work and your compassion. And that's what I look for
There might be an opportunity. We'll see. There might be an opportunity depending on what happens with Biden and who he puts in his administration. If somebody moves, maybe I can move. Who knows?
Guess what? I'm going to be the first gay guy on your campaign. I'm going to volunteer and do whatever I can because I love you and I really appreciate all of the work you have done. You make sure that we are taken care of. I am a black man first. When I get stopped on the highway 2 years ago, and I went to jail for 24 hours, I was like, oh my God, I was treated as such. I was mistreated. I was not treated well at all. And come to find out, it was something for 2012. I still don't know what it is. And so to have a champion like you in the Congress becomes even more essential for our community. And then oftentimes as an LGBTQ person, that side of me is often ignored on both sides because I'm LGBTQ and I'm a person of color. So thank you, Congresswoman, for being that light to us all. And so we want to present you with the Fahrenheit Live Award for being an exceptional Congresswoman, for being a champion for our community, and being just a phenomenal ally. So thank you, Congresswoman. Otis Mack.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to say to the beautiful Congresswoman?
Thank you for all that you do and good luck in what's about to happen in your life.
Well, this really means the world to me. Thank you so very much. And, I was raised that everybody is a human being, and, that's the way I was raised. My cousins, I have 2 cousins when I was growing up that are gay, were gay, they're dead now. When I think about what they must have had to go through because they would be like 80 something now, 2 women, and they were sisters. It's so tough. And I know it was tough for them, back when they were growing up, and in fact, one of them, her partner was an actress. She played on You Guys Look Too Young on One Life to Live. Remember that?
I'm not that young, Congresswoman.
I've never heard of that show.
One Life to Live?
That means you have. But she was actress on One Life to Live. So they used to come to my aunt's house, every Saturday, and we would, eat together. And I'm just, and when I think about it now, reflecting, I didn't appreciate a thing because they, she was just cousin, but what they had to go through, she and her sister, and her sister actually got married and had 3 kids, and then got divorced, but
It came out later in life, Congresswoman. She came out later.
No. I think she was just trying to,
Hi,
she didn't feel like she would be accepted. I mean, this is the 60s and 60s and very early 70s. I think she felt that she had to play a role because she wouldn't be accepted. Wow. So that's why she did it.
There's always somebody in our lives that played a role in the trajectory of our lives. So Thank you for sharing that story, Congresswoman. It looks like you have a pretty cool place, a little TV back there. I may have to come over your place and chill a little bit, Congresswoman.
Actually, this is my. I'm in my my husband's TV room or man cave. I kicked him out.
Well, certainly, Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us
so
on
much.
the program
And
tonight.
we will be having another roundtable. I don't know if it's October or November, but we'll get it to you. And my colleague, Sharice David, is going to be the speaker. So the first, Native, first of two Native American women that joined. Yeah. Yeah. So she's coming because we've never had a woman come and talk to you guys. It's always been all the men.
Right.
So I'm bringing
I'm going to get my partner, Otis Mack, to join me in Morocco to join me for that talk.
Yeah, definitely. You'll hear from Tony.
Yeah, Tony sent me the information already.
Okay, good.
I'll take me and Otis up and Morocco up to attend. Congresswoman, one more time, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Know that there's a community that loves you.
And I love you back.
And we will. I would love to I'll talk to Tony about getting another full interview with you. How does that sound?
All righty. Take care.
Be
safe. Wear your mask.
Thank you. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Bye-bye.
Such a great show tonight, Anthony.
Yes, it is.
I'm not really a political type of guy, but a very informative show. So kudos to you. Kudos.
I think we're going to be doing politics for the rest of some level of politics for the month.
Yeah,
we want people to be engaged in the election.
I'll agree. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Wow. Amazing.
What's next, Otis? What's next?
Yeah, well, right now we got Chevelle Boom Boom Brooks going to come on real quick and shut us down. She's going to shut the show down. Again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to Fahrenheit Live 2020. We'll be back, I believe, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll be back. Yes, we will be. We will be back in a couple of weeks. That is the day after National Coming Out Day, October 12th, Monday, October 12th. So thank you all for joining the program. And Otis, thank you for being such a great co-host today.
Thanks for having me. We'll talk a little further after the after show.
Yes, okay. That's all.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, if she's ready, can we welcome to the stage our guest tonight, Chevelle Boom Boom Brooks.
Oh.
Heavy Chevy!
Hey. Don't call me off guard.
It's so good to see you, Heavy. It's so good to see you, Chevelle. And I have to tell my godmother that you were on the program tonight, Desiree DeMornay.
Yes, you do.
Take care.
Take us off, Chevelle. Take us off.
Take care. Good seeing you, Chevelle.
Here you go.
She looks amazing.
I look back on all those good times we once shared, and I must have been blind just to think I'd find someone new, one who'd love me better than you. Well, it may come as a surprise. Loneliness has opened my eyes. I tried every love I could find. Still I can't get you out of my mind. 'Cause there's no one in the world to hold me. No one in the world's gonna move me. No one in the world can love me like you do, baby. Every time I'm with someone, loving you gets someone wrong. I wanna run back to your arms again. Ain't no one in the world loves me like you do. Are you you do, baby. Every time I'm with someone, loving you and wanna run, I wanna run back to your arms again. Ain't no one in the world love me like you do. Please take me back. Oh, baby, can't go on. Oh, my feet and my side like you. I'll do whatever it takes. I've got to get you back with me again. I realize I need you here. There's no
Oh, thank you.
So I've been with Howard Browns for the past 6 years as a member of the board of directors, and I've now been the chairman of the board for 3 years. It's exciting to be a part of a group that provides direction to Howard Brown Health as a federally qualified health center and the largest LGBTQ organization in the Midwest. We provide a lot of impact to marginalized communities. Representation matters. You know, with respect to the census, I think especially for, you know, African American and Latinx individuals, it's important to have that because it has such an important impact on organizations like Howard Brown Health. For each % of the population that is not counted in the state of Illinois, for example, we stand to lose $19.5 million. Now, if you look at that for the next 10 years, that's $195 million that we won't be allocated from federal funding sources. So as you can see, that's really important, and it'll have a drastic impact on nonprofit organizations, on organizations that provide social services to our communities. I'm the proud son of Mexican immigrants that, you know, came to the States to chase the American dream. And I think that in doing so, I need to do whatever I can with, you know, the rights and privileges that I'm now afforded, and I want to make sure that I honor them by taking the census, and not just honoring my family members, but honoring all those that have come here before me and have been immigrants in their own right.